Luton Airport, it's not the most glamorous airport in the world, but let's face it, if you've got an early morning flight or a late arrival, you need a hotel. Enter the Ibis Hotel London Luton. Is it worth staying here, or should you look elsewhere? Let's break it down. Right, I've just got back from a weekend trip to Athens with my mum, and we had an early flight, so we decided to book a hotel. So I'm going to rate this place based on location, facilities, food and parking. And I think I'm doing a balanced review, and I'll give it a score at the end. Right, let's start with the location. The Ibis is less than a 10-minute walk from the terminal. It's pretty handy. Bear in mind, my mum's 84. It was more than a 10-minute walk for her. And there's a bit of a hill to climb to get up to the first roundabout. It's one of the closest hotels to the airport, but does that mean it's noisy? Well, yes, but not in the way you think. I've actually been there twice in the last fortnight. The first time was dropping the wife and daughter off for their trip to Krakow. And it was a Friday night, and the place was teeming with, seemed to be a lot of men around, and it looked like lads that were travelling for work. And the bar area was absolutely heaving. So on the night we stayed, I didn't really notice a lot of noise from the aircraft or from downstairs. But, you know, it's not going to be the quietest hotel in the country. So I would score this a 10 for location because of the walking distance. However, if you wait for my parking section, you'll see why I'm only scoring it a 9. So unlike other reviewers, I'm going to review it based on the facilities that were advertised. In other words, did it have everything it said it did? There's no point rating it low because it hasn't got a swimming pool if you weren't expecting a swimming pool. So it's an Ibis, you know what you're going to expect. Budget, functional, no frills. And it's quite a smart looking hotel. It's a modern looking reception. The staff were friendly, and I didn't meet anyone who struggled with English, which is becoming a bit of an issue at some of the more international airport hotels. And the room was a decent size, it had a telly, it had USB chargers, the showers were clean, the lift didn't have that annoying thing where you have to enter your key card to go up, so you're able to come and go freely, and it was very accessible for mum. So based on the fact that it had everything it said it had, I'm going to score this a 9 out of 10. Yeah, let's talk about food and drink. There's a bar and restaurant on site, but is it worth eating here? To be honest, we got there quite late. Yeah, Mum likes a light bite, I'm happy with a burger meal. They were both on the menu. My only criticism slightly was the light bite was nearly the same price as the burger. It was a simple chicken wrap. So the main thing that made it a light bite was that it was light without being reflected in the price. But that's just me because I'm a budget traveller and I'm a bit stingy. That was £12, my burger was 16. That's fairly standard pub grub fare these days. However, there is a bus stop outside. If you wanted to pop into Luton for something cheaper, more exciting, it's £1.70 on the bus. If you don't fancy their food, you can get Uber Eats because it is just outside the area where they charge for driving into, or you could even pop into a supermarket before you got there. I'm going to score it 8 out of 10, not because of the quality of the food, there was nothing wrong with it. I just felt that the bar area, if it was busy, would be full of people drinking and you would struggle to get somewhere to sit to eat. I think it could do with a more defined eating and bar area, especially if you're travelling with a family. I noticed on the Friday I was there with the wife, it was rowdy lads having a pint. Nothing wrong with that, they're entitled to it. I quite like being a rowdy lad with a pint myself, but if Suin had been any younger, she might have found that a bit uncomfortable. I think they should segregate the eating area, but nothing wrong with the food. Now, parking. Obviously, you're not going to park at the hotel for the duration of your time away. Now, the one thing I noticed on both occasions was availability of parking. When I dropped the wife and daughter off, I could not park at all, so we had to park in the street. When I was there with Mum, I was able to get a space. They do give you 20 minutes of free parking, which is great, so you can get your bags, you can drop your family off, you can even have a quick change if you want to change out of your car travelling clothes into your holiday clothes. But 20 minutes is cutting it fine. Now the overnight rate is £18, which I think is a lot, especially if you're going to struggle to get parked in the first place. So, but overall value for money for the hotel, we paid £81, and that was exactly the same price as we paid a couple of weeks ago. It's not the cheapest, you know, but you struggle to get the £40 travel lodge rooms these days, and you certainly would that close to the airport. So I think the value for the actual price of the room is fair. I wouldn't say it's cheap, but I wouldn't say it was overly expensive considering the location. So for value, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. But for parking, I would definitely say a 7. So finally, would I stay here again? Well, I don't think I'd have a choice if I had an early morning flight, so yes, I would. What didn't I like about it? Not so much their fault, but a lot of the packages you can buy that for hotel with parking expect you to go to the car park after your night in the hotel. So I would avoid buying a package because you'll get there, you'll have to pay the extra £18 to stay there if you can get a space. And the nearest official parking is the mid-stay, which is not the easiest to take your car to and then walk back to the hotel. So if I was staying there, I would probably book the long stay parking, take the free shuttle back to the airport, and then walk back to the hotel. Because obviously the main reason you'd stay in it is if you had an early flight. Now, the last thing you want to be doing on the morning of an early flight is sorting your car out, so you do want to get rid of your car the night before. And the mid-stay is quite a trek to walk to from the hotel. So if you're going to do that, you might as well get the shuttle bus. So as an overall, I'm going to score it an 8 out of 10. Not because there's anything wrong with it, but I have stayed in better airport hotels. For me, the Holiday Inn at Stansted was the best because you had your entire holiday parking at the hotel. My second favourite airport hotel so far has been the Jumbo Stay for obvious reasons, and this is definitely my third. So, have you ever stayed at the Ibis Luton? What did you think? Here's my first hotel review. Let me know what you think. I've purely done it this week because I'm cutting it fine for my Thursday release, and a hotel review takes less time than a destination review. So thanks ever so much for watching, and we'll see you soon.